Hello everyone, it's Kinder09, and I'm a really big fan of Star Wars, if you can already tell. Something that's major in the Star Wars community is the concept of a glup shitto. So, what's a glup shitto? Well, a glup shitto is a no-name character in the story that has no major significance, but then later on, after their introduction, gets their own name and backstory. Glup shittos like Max Rebo, the Cantina Band, Coleman Trevor, C.O. Bibble, etc. are most well known in the fan base. Transformers is another series I'm really into, and like Star Wars, Transformers has a large cast of characters. Iconic characters such as Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and Megatron, to obscure characters such as K9, Venom, Punch, Counterpunch, Night Scream, etc. So, with a large array of characters in the Transformers multiverse, there are a lot of no-name characters that are beloved by the fan base. So, today in this video, I'll go over 5 Transformers glup shittos that are in the shows and movies. Look, I'm not going to go over characters that are toy exclusive and are comic exclusive. I don't know too much about the comics. So no, I'm not going over Transformers from Brazil. Sorry, Saltman Z. The characters I'll be talking about need to 1. Stand out enough where they at least have their own name, even if they are given a name after debut. And 2, I won't be grouping one name of a character to all of their adaptations. For example, Jolt from ROTF and Jolt from Armada will not be classified as the same character in a video like this. I'm not gonna be talking about the secrets in this video. Sorry, Blast fandom. There's just a lot of them that could be in their own video. So originally the first 2 characters I would have talked about were Devcon and Skyquake, even though they wouldn't even be close to counting as a glup shitto, so yeah, thanks to my dumbass, this video took longer to make. Okay, that's enough yapping, let's get on with the video.
Yo, Paraka! Yo, Paraka!
Transformers Revenge of the Fallen was a movie. A sequel to the 2007 movie meant 2 things: getting Megatron's reboot card, killing Optimus Prime, more screen time of the GOAT Agent Simmons, and of course, new bots. Revenge of the Fallen introduced iconic bots in the Bayverse such as Skyswipe, Enemy Scrotum, Skid the Mudflap, but that also includes many obscure bots that nobody talks about such as Jolt, DRC Twins, Skid them up. One of the obscure bots that wasn't given a name in the movie was Sideways. Now, before Revenge of the Fallen, Sideways was already a character in Armada and Cybertron. But today we'll be talking about the Sideways that was in one scene in the movie and had one of the most badass deaths in the Bayverse. While most of the Autobots were busy with Demolisher in Shanghai, this gave Sideways the advantage and tried to make his getaway, only for Lennox to send the RC Twins, Skids, and Mudflap to pursue him. Sideways was able to lose him, however, only for Sideswipe to catch up with him and cut Sideways in half. By far, one of the most badass scenes in ROTF.
Damn, I'm good.
Sideways would end up getting his own backstory through the IDW comics, where he was a member aboard the Nemesis during its mission to scour the galaxy for a star harvester. Also, for one of his toy bios, it said that Sideways enjoyed using the Decepticons to get himself out of trouble. Another one of his toy bios stated that after his death in ROTF, Sideways was rebuilt to infiltrate an Autobot camp and to pretend to be an Autobot himself. A nice callback to Armada. However, Skids and Mudflap grew suspicious of him, reverting back to their ice cream truck mode. After finding out Sideways' evil intentions, Skids and Mudflap began to battle him. Sideways would make his game appearance in the ROTF game from 2009, with him also running away from the Autobots in Shanghai in the Autobot campaign. Unfortunately for him, he dies by fucking fall damage. And it wasn't even that high. Well, bro was literally on 1 HP. He also appears in Transformers The Ride from Universal Studios. By the way, off topic, with Transformers The Ride is legit a certified hood classic ride. One of my favorite rides of all time. If you have the chance to go to Universal Studios, go to Transformers The Ride. Trust me, you'll enjoy it. On the ride, Sideways infiltrated Nest HQ to try to retrieve the Allspark shard, but was eventually killed when Bumblebee snapped his neck and threw his body across the room. Even though Sideways died in ROTF, he still managed to appear and get immediately killed off in Dark of the Moon. However, this can just be a different Decepticon that shared a similar build to him, most likely Dead End, as stated from one of Theorymus' videos. ROTF Sideways has gotten a few toys, of course. There's an original deluxe class, having one of the best gimmicks of all time, Mecha Live, having internal gears in his forearms that move when moving the arms around. His most recent toy was from Studio Series, giving him his most accurate toy yet. It's theorized that Sideways is like a dimension hopper, and like all the Sideways from every universe is the same character, and it's hinted at in Robot Masters and the Allspark Almanac. Honestly, I don't 100% believe it. It's up to you to decide. There's a lot more I could talk about for ROTF Sideways, like with him being in Brazil at one point. But I wanted to keep the first one as short as possible. Anyways, on to the next episode. Transformers Animated was similar to G1 by having an array of nameless background characters. Animated Granis being one of them. Granis was originally a Japanese toy exclusive character, meaning that he didn't appear in the G1 cartoon nor any of the Japanese animes. Granis is infamous for being both a city bot and being a Transformers version of Boogie 298. For almost 20 years, it would take him to get his first and only cartoon appearance in Transformers Animated as the millions of background characters. His first appearance would be in his vehicle mode in the episode Decepticon Air, where he was carrying Sentinel Prime, along with Perceptor and Alpha Trion. While another bot that had a similar alt mode to Granis, Dogbase, carried the imprisoned Decepticons, Blitzwing, not Ramjet, and the humble, grateful, repentant Sunstorm! His next appearance was in the episode
This is why I hate machines.
with him minding his own business until Captain Phantom transformed right in front of him. Granis being terrified and also big boned, almost stepped on Fanzone, but the rest of the bots were terrified as well. Some random Firestar knockoff flare-up told Granis to step on Fanzone. Granis was about to step on Fanzone, only for Beer Belly Ratchet to stop Granis in the nick of time, who took the Fanzone with him in his vehicle mode and rolled out. Granis would make his last appearance with him and Flare-Up being horrified that a bot touched.
It's organic!
Before we move on, apparently in an early episode, 5 Service of Doom, Granis was apparently a member of the Cyber Ninja Corps, as seen as one of the many holographic busts inside of Yokotron's dojo. So yeah, apparently anyone on Cybertron can be a ninja. Other than obscure manga, Granis hasn't made any major appearances, his latest being name dropped in Last Spot Standing in 2022. That's it for Granis. Let's move on to the next character. Also, before we move on, by the way, there's theories that Granis might get a new toy. I don't know if it's true. It's probably not, to be honest. So yeah, let's move on.
Trigger, Tracer, Drifter coming through.
Female Transformers were first seen in the Season 2 episode of G1, The Search for Alpha Trion, where a gang of fembots sneak into Shockwave's headquarters to steal Energon cubes in order to fuel their fight against Decepticons at Cybertron. The fembots in this episode who were name-dropped were Chromia, Moonracer, Firestar, and most famously, Elita 1. While 4 fembots had significance in the episode, 2 others weren't so lucky. Greenlight and Lancer were 2 nameless fembots shown in background shots. These are the only screenshots I could find of the 2 on TF Wiki. Yeah, I know, not super flattering. After the episode, Greenlight, Lancer, and the rest of the fembots never appeared in a single episode of G1 ever again. The original fembots would soon be obscured by RC. Nowadays, Elita 1 has been getting more attention through Earthspark and TF1, with Chromia starring in Cyberverse. But all the OG fembots, however, would star in IDW comics, and even IDW 2.0. This is where Greenlight and Lancer got to shine again. However, the IDW comics are really where they only appear ever again, since they haven't appeared in anything since. But even in the comics, they aren't too special. In IDW 2.0, Greenlight was in a lesbian relationship with RC, so that's cool, I guess. Both of their only toys used a shitty Moonracer mold from Power to Primes, and also they're super expensive on eBay. Them appearing in TF1 may be a possibility, but most likely as background characters. So yeah, it's not looking real good for both of the characters, especially that they appeared in such a significant episode in G1. They go down in the endless list of nameless G1 characters. Well, at least Greenlight appeared in Angry Birds Transformers!
In your friend's room, nothing you can do, the gang is on the loose.
In Transformers Animated, the beginning of the episode Transformers Part 1 showed an array of both Autobots and Decepticons, with the Autobots being Team Athena, trying to defend the space bridge. The Decepticons being Team Char would eventually capture the space bridge, however. Cyclonus, Strika, and Blackout are members that are well known among the fandom. Spidor being a bit obscure, first being a toy-exclusive Beast Wars character. But the last member of Team Char that would stand out that appeared in the episode was Oil Slick. Before Transformers Animated, Oil Slick either shared a mold of Armada Sideswipe, or was either just some random mini-comic classics. Yeah, he was basically just a toy-exclusive character until his introduction in Transformers Animated. Oil Slick has one of the most unique appearances, not just Animated, but Transformers as a whole. Basically being locked down at home, with a cool dome covering his head in the badass motorcycle alt mode. Team Athena would lose the battle embarrassingly, with Oil Slick making the final touch of throwing a container of cosmic rust at Rodimus Prime, infecting and killing. That That's the most that Oil Slick has done in the animated cartoon. Oil Slick would eventually get another role in the All-Spec Almanac, teaming up with Scalpel to create Toxitron in Nemesis Prime. He also got a sick upgrade with the help of Scalpel. Strangely enough, Cyclonus predicted that Oil Slick would die by Megatron, who in the future would become Galvatron. Okay. During the Suncon job, Oil Slick would help the Suncons infiltrate Suncon prison to rescue Megatron by reformatting them with Autobot shells. Basically the opposite to what the Autobots did in G1. Before his debut in animated, Oil Slick actually fought in the Great War, where he used his new Cosmic Rust chemical weapon, but ended up accidentally getting a dose of it on himself. Severely weakened, he was later found by Ratchet, who ended up creating an antidote via Cosmic Rust. And as soon as it was applied to Oil Slick immediately threw a dose of Cosmic Rust to Ratchet and ran away with the rest of the antidote, only for Ratchet to use his magnetism ability and steal the antidote right from him. That's really it for animated Oil Slick. He's got a pretty cool toy from 2009, but his second toy that was cancelled, unfortunately. Honestly, I prefer the canceled toy. The colors being darker give it the lead. But before we get to the last glup shitto on the video, I gotta show you this.
I'm gonna ruin his head sculpt. His face looks like the villain from Big Hero 6 with the big flat nose. I can't unsee that.
Rap to the beat, the gang is on the loose, Baraka in the street, that's a lot of heat.
Before I talk about the last glup shitto on the video, I just want to plug my Crorana Gang stop motion movie. Part 1 should be out by now, and I just want to ask if y'all can support it. I think it's the best I've made on these channels so far, and I really want to see it appreciated. After all parts are released, it'll be re-uploaded, like as a completed 20-minute movie. So yeah, if you haven't already, go watch part 1 of the movie, after the end of this video, of course. That's enough yapping. Let's move on to the last glup shitto.
Tracer, drifter, the snake, the beast, the bully.
Last, but certainly not least, of course.
The nigga chin!
I mean, Sentinel Prime. No, not that Sentinel. This Sentinel. During the debut 5-parter of the 3rd season of G1, 5 Faces of Darkness, in the 4th part, Rodimus Prime enters the Matrix and is greeted by Primon, the oldest known bearer of the Matrix. After that, Rodimus is shown the beginnings of the Transformers, being built by the Quintessons. He's also shown many other Autobots who held the Matrix of leadership, the first one being Primon, obviously, but then after him are Prima, Prime Nova, Guardian Prime, Zeta Prime, most importantly to this video, Sentinel Prime, and of course we already knew about Optimus Prime. Of course, the Primes debuting in this episode got their names years after the episode broadcast. Out of all of the nameless Primes from 5 Faces of Darkness, Sentinel Prime stood out the most for his sick robot design in alt mode, and being one of the first Autobots to transform. For this part of the video, I'll be referring to G1 Sentinel Prime as U-Haul Robot, since that's what the animators called him. U-Haul Robot was a gladiator, forced to fight by the Quintessons. After the Quintessons lost and left Cybertron, the military robots, the Decepticons, and the consumer goods robot, the Autobots, were at war with one another. The two Autobot leaders would eventually be killed during the war, being Guardian Prime and Zeta Prime. U-Haul Robot will most likely inherit the Matrix of leadership from Zeta Prime right before succumbing to his wounds. Under his leadership, the Autobots were able to defeat the Decepticons by creating the art of transforming, using their alt modes as stealth. After the war, Cybertron would go into a golden age, but it was only a matter of time for the Third Great War to commence, with Decepticons adopting transformation, Decepticons being capable of flight, and the creation of the mighty Megatron. Megatron would show his power by killing off U-Haul Robot, with Albatron getting the Matrix leadership from him. This was unfortunately Sentinel Prime's first and last appearance in G1. He only got his name from the UK Marvel Comics, but the cartoon and comics character weren't even described as being the same character at the time, meaning that the U-Haul Robot still didn't get a name. Sentinel Prime will be fleshed out in the IDW comics as a corrupt Autobot leader turned villain. It wasn't until Transformers Animated where Sentinel Prime would get his second TV debut, with his design being heavily based off of Tick and the original U-Haul Robot. Another version had a similar color scheme as the U-Haul Robot was Sentinel Zeta Prime in the Alliance continuity, where just like in the UK comics and G1 cartoon, after Sentinel dies, his predecessor is Optimus Prime. By now it's pretty obvious that the U-Haul Robot is Sentinel Prime. All the nameless boss of 5 Faces of Darkness Part 4 are name dropped on Aspector Prime. This will be the definitive characteristic for Sentinel Prime. In Dark and Moon, he used to be Optimus Prime's mentor before turning evil, and using the Star Harvesters to bring Cybertron to Earth. Of course, since he was the main villain in the Transformers movie, Optimus Prime had to kill him off in a brutal way. After the OTM, Sentinel Prime would get a lot of new toys. Even a Titans Return toy based off his IDW appearance, but still not a toy for the U-Haul robots, and it's kind of like what it is now. Yes, the TF1 Sentinel Prime mainline toy exists, but still. At least for now, there's no sign of a G1 cartoon Sentinel Prime toy coming out. Unlike Green Knight and Lancer, Sentinel Prime has escaped the hardships of being a nameless G1 character, and has surpassed the shackles of being a glup shitto. He's not an obscure Transformers character anymore. The only other Transformer on this video that can say the same is Sideways, but he hasn't done anything special in years. Of his upcoming appearance in Transformers 1, Sentinel Prime is here to stay. There's a lot more I could talk about. I just wanted to keep things simple and mainly focus on the G1 cartoon appearance. So yeah, that's gonna be it with the U-Haul robot, also known as the nigga chin. I mean Sentinel Prime. So yeah, here's 5 glup shittos in Transformers. Okay, fine, technically 6, but you can't blame me that I grouped Green Knight and Lancer together. They're like the Bo-Rock to the Bo-Rock Call, basically being the same character from one another. Okay, that's not a super accurate comparison, but you know what I mean. If this video does well, then I'll most likely do a part 2, since there's a lot more obscure Transformers characters that can count as glup shittos. This has been King 09 signing off. See ya.
Bye.